Hello, everybody. This summer, as part of the film program, Brew Collectors, one of the things we had to accomplish was creating a short film on a local business. We interviewed several businesses and then ended up choosing Sister Anne's to make our film because the owner, Jim, was really passionate about their business. Jim also had an intriguing story to tell. The way that he cared for and honored his previous work, Anne. So thank you, Jim and Sister Anne, for letting us work with him. Thank you for taking the time to let us come into your space with all of our film equipment. And thank you for sharing your story, your good music, and your treats, both coffee and bakery items. Thank you for the difference you've made and will continue to make on the community. We hope you all enjoy this film that we're about to debut.
In '97, after a few years of going in and putting an application in once a month, after a lot of pestering and the owner giving me like chores to do, like running flyers for events around town, working at their booth at festivals, things like that. I was in the store one day and I go up to the counter and I've got some funk, it's Latin jazz, it's punk rock, it's country music, and the manager was like, okay, you shop every corner of this store, like, come on. I know you've been wanting to work here for a long time. So that's how I got hired, attrition. I just, I wore them down. The concept of the business was, you know, my partner in this and I, we had worked in a record store together in the 90s. Now, he's been working in record stores since '85. That's all he's ever done. And when I was working with him at the record store, I also worked in a coffee shop. And so we had talked about putting those two things together, because when I was at the coffee shop listening to cool music in there all the time, people would come up and ask me like what I was listening to and if I had a copy to sell them. Like it's a natural synergy. So that's how they landed together. My partner in this, his name is Frank. We've been friends since I was like 15. I met him initially when he had a different record store. I had put out a local band's 45, like a little 7-inch record. It was a split between a band from San Francisco and Kansas City. And so my friend and I he put it together and I kind of helped with the project. But we went in there to Frank's store, it was called Abba Zappa. He was selling our record for us. So that's how we met him initially. And then we worked together at Recycle Sound, we ended up being roommates. And yeah, we've long time been rock and roll buddies. We've driven all over the Midwest to go to shows together over the years. But yeah, I mean, Frank's been my buddy for 30 years now, you know, plus. So it's I would not do this with anybody else. Like he's the guy that you know makes this possible. The woman that we work for in the record store, her name is Anne, and she taught us a lot about not only like the record business, but just how to interact with, you know, being kind of like an important place for the community. and she's no longer with us. So part of the name is reverence and for her. And there's also like a rock and roll band that we like a lot, and they have a song called Sister Ann. So it's both of those things at the same time. We have like a lot of decades cumulatively between the two of us, like in both of these businesses, and so people, our friends wanted to help us get it going. So that was kind of the logistics. Financially, we kind of paid for it as we went, and we were able to pull it off super cheap because we had that massive amount of time investment in these businesses. We got into putting the records and coffee together because it's really like two businesses that kind of have a hard time making it on their own. So, the synergy of both of those things helps pay for like the rent and the payroll. Like if you were to just have a coffee shop or just have a record store, you're occupying the same kind of space, but this way, if someone comes in, they want to do some shopping, maybe they don't find a record that they want, but they'll have some drinks while they're looking. Or, vice versa, you come in for some coffee and you see an album that looks interesting, so they just kind of feed each other. And one needs the other for us here to make it work as a business. They really, they help one another. The biggest challenges starting for us were really just kind of being underfunded. Like that made it really tough. And all of, there's only 24 hours in a day. That made it tough too. Because we started with so little money, like trying to get the place open on time, like before we ran out of cash, that was the toughest part. But it's also been really satisfying that we kind of pulled it off too. So I would say, like, to anybody looking to start something, have more money than you think you need, but don't let that stop you from getting the ball rolling in one way or another. Like you can definitely tackle stuff while underfunded. Like none of the circumstances for opening your business are ever going to be perfect. You kind of just have to do it. 5 years in, we got to add the bakery part of the business and expand and like hire a staff and expand into this side of our building. So we really were able to like fully actualize the vision. It just took time. That's like the biggest change, but it's something that we wanted to do from the beginning. So it's not so much that like the vision had changed, but just being able to pull it off. That took time. The coffee that we serve here, it was kind of a collaborative project between the roasters at the Broadway Roasting Company and myself. I used to work there, so when we got going, we decided to put together a coffee room for the place. I wanted to have something that was approachable for everybody, something that would kind of take cream and sugar really well, because we're a record store. So it's I wanted it to be kind of having just a nice like kind of coffee flavor without being overwhelmingly exotic. Something that would take like a super informed palate to appreciate. I wanted it to just be like really approachable and good. Get our coffee from the Broadway Roasting Company. They're just down the road over in Westport, and they do a fantastic job of sourcing really high quality coffees from all over the world. They're a real gem. We're super lucky to have them. They do an excellent job of like roasting coffee and sourcing quality ingredients. The eggs that we get are from a small Mennonite community outside of town, so there's a small business that brings eggs to us. And other than that, we try to source as many natural and organic ingredients as possible. Our chai is really special. It's a small batch, locally made chai. Chai is spiced and sweetened tea. Our friend Steven makes it. It's called Chai Pod. It's a passion he's had for a long time, and it's kind of exclusive to small shops in the Kansas City area. But yeah, it's fantastic. It's the best chai I've ever had. When we were ready to add the bakery, I was super fortunate, and a friend of mine, her name's Nicole, she's a very talented pastry chef, and we're super lucky to have her. And that, yeah, when I told her that I wanted to focus on quality ingredients, she was absolutely excited about that. So we try to make all of the baked goods as best as possible instead of as profitable as possible. So it's, that's not the end goal. The 3 words I think that best describe our business are fun, community, and joy, really. Like, I have experienced a lot of joy, and people come in and, they have something delicious or find something they've been looking for, and yeah, that's really satisfying for us to help people have a good time. Had an excellent party for our 6th birthday. A band that we really like came into town and played. They're called Mr. No. They're from Ohio, and it was a great night. We packed the place out. People come in that I haven't seen for a long time. This is kind of a place that people come into town, they come check out. So it's been a nice kind of reunion spot, not only for me, but I get to see other people have those experiences as well. We get our records from all kinds of places. We buy directly from the public, so if somebody's done with something, or they no longer, they're gonna move and they don't wanna move the record collection with them, then we'll buy from the public. We trade, so if you're tired of an album or it just isn't for you, we'll give you credit to something else for it. We also buy directly from bands, local artists. We buy from small independent record labels, small distributors that handle many record labels and artists, and there's a couple of larger companies that sell pretty much everything, so that's where we have to go to get major label releases. But yeah, so we get our records from a lot of different places. Every genre is gonna have something fantastic in it and really interesting. And then, most of it's gonna be not the best, but it all has something to offer. I think physical media is becoming more popular because, especially among younger folks, they want to have something to hold on to. Everything is streaming and digital, and it's fleeting. You'll like an artist and then it'll be gone from the streaming platforms. Having a record too, one of the big draws for my whole life, because there's always been smaller formats, but LPs especially, you've got those big liner notes and the jacket to look at, and something to hold and check out while you're listening to the music. And it's just more of the art. The bands get to say something with the art on the album cover as well. And just that the texture of holding something, that tactile input, that's part of the experience too. And I think that especially in this digital world, people want more of that. It's like picking up an actual book and flipping those pages, turning your record over, flipping the cassette. Having that interaction is just more of the experience. Kansas City is, I think, a pretty good record town. We've had a pretty rich history of really good record stores in Kansas City, and so there's, I think, a good base of record collectors here in town. There's a handful of other really cool record stores that are within an hour of here, so it's a good place to find records if you're traveling and hunting for records. It's a good place to stop in the city, or if you're a native, and we're pretty lucky to have a handful of good stores here. excellent town for genuine connection with other folks. I like the size of this city. It's more personal. I think having a good space where people feel welcome, is important for that. Like minds coming together is, it's kind of what we're all about. So I think that's the role we play in community cultivation. I'd say kindness is probably my favorite thing about this community. There's a lot of really genuinely good and kind people, and being able to have interactions with them every day, I'm very fortunate in that. I think all of that is held together by those personal relationships, right? Like, it's that human connection that goes along with, what is music? It's you're hearing people create art through sound. You'll have a relationship with an artist